Or even try to school ya. Oh no. Ooh. We've got the mind of our own, so go to hell if what you're thinking is not right. Ooh. Love will never leave us alone. I end the darkness and must
oh yes, oh yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Could you be loved?
Yes, you are loved. You are truly loved. Are you loving yourself? Yes, you are. 8/11/2015, Heart2Heart Healthy Living. First, I give thanks for the creative source of this universe, and I give thanks to my mother, Shirley Hardy, my energetic angel guide. Greetings, greetings to you all in love and kindness. Thank you for tuning in and for sharing the good news from this show with family and friends. You are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living with Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, Dr. K. I'm a pioneering Nest Health bioenergetic practitioner and a Conscious Self-HealthCare Educator. I'm not a medical doctor of disease care, but a pioneering educator in the field of quantum health and healing. It's Conscious Self-HealthCare. Right here on the airwave of Inner Light Radio, the healing frequency. You are listening to a live broadcast today. I am the founder of the Art of Self-Healing and Self-Help. Health Education for Longevity and Peace is a health wellness maintenance organization for the prevention of disease. We share information that illnesses are no longer seen as diseases. We now understand that we create cellular malfunctions that can be corrected, that cannot be corrected by pharmaceuticals and unnecessary removal of organs and amputation of limbs. You see, family, community, and friends, the current paradigm in healthcare, the disease care model, is now seen as outdated and no longer a viable way to care for the well-being of the human body. Often it's in the seeming breakdowns that the greatest breakthroughs are born. Diseases are recognized as scrambled information, distortions in the human body field, breakdown in physiology, and yes, oh yes, also a part of a belief system created by the ways in which you choose to care for your human body. Disease is a belief system. You see, it's not in the genes. They don't just turn themselves on and off. It's how the genes are taught to express themselves by you individually for your own well-being. Expanding our current state of wellness on healthcare with the new information on well-being gives us the opportunity to refine certain aspects of ourselves and our experiences and become healthier as a result. Once again, you are tuned to Heart2Heart Healthy Living, and yes, I am broadcasting live from downtown Anacostia in Washington, D.C. Are you ready to bury disease thinking? Are you ready to shift from a man-made mindset of human consciousness about health care? We can quickly bring ourselves back into alignment with the most authentic part of ourselves, our natural, nurture, our true selves back to our original state of being through our thoughts, our consciousness, diet, lifestyle, and having access to correct information. So are you ready to get radical about your health care? Health is consciousness and healing is a function of consciousness. On this show, we share inspiring conversation, music, poetry, enlightening articles, interviews, and we hold the space for you. This show is for you to share your transformation of self-healthcare stories. We're holding this space for you to come on this show and share with the community how you have shifted your energy. You can email your questions or comments to innerlightradio@yahoo.com, innerlightradio@yahoo.com. You can Facebook Brother Jamal with your comment or question. You can call in and share 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. You must mute your phone. You are entering the live chat room, and I will invite you to join the conversation by your phone number or your Skype name. So I welcome you. Welcome to the Conscious Wellness Choice Point. Now it's time to check the pulse of your thoughts, your consciousness, and your actions. Take a deep breath with me. Tonight we're going to be focusing on our root chakra. So remember, take that deep Kundalini breath. Focus on your root chakra. We are all one, and I am one with everything. Joining me tonight is Professor Karl West, current president of the International Academy of Lymphology, founded by his father, C. Samuel West. He will share a conversation on the science of lymphology and the art of lymphasizing as shared by the Academy. I have one goal, one purpose, one thought, one action, one vision, one movement, and one passion: to share information to empower all to rise above the fear of diseases. Family, community, and friends, it's time to embrace fear of diseases. It's time to give disease a big hug, a big smile. Hold it, hold it, hold the disease so tightly that it vanishes from your heart and your mind. We are sharing information to assist each other with making conscious self-healthcare moves. Mental observation view is essential for your success. Take out your pen and paper, mentally or physically. Get ready to write your very own personal prescription for better health care. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, Dr. K, the one and only Conscious Self-HealthCare Educator, and you are tuned in to Heart2Heart Healthy Living on Inner Light Radio. We will start the conversation after this commercial with Professor West. So stay tuned, take out your pen and paper, hold on, family community that just joined us online, keep your phone muted. We're going to come back and let Professor West talk a little bit from this commercial break, and then I will invite y'all to join the conversation. Jamal, can we get a commercial? Feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your NEST Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit the website forcelllife.com, the number 4, CELLLIFE.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation, 202-248-7749. Oh, yes, oh, yes. Oh, yes. Take that deep Kundalini breath, sit back and relax. Get ready to rewrite your very own prescription plan right here on Inner Light Radio, Heart2Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks. My guest that's joining me tonight is Professor Karl West. He is the current president of the International Academy of Lymphology, founded by his father. This information that they share from the International Academy of Lymphology is the foundation to my practice, to what I give to the community each and every day, the power for you to be able to take care of your body and how to take care of your cells. So recently this week on Facebook, I saw this post by Dr. West. I'm going to let him introduce himself to you, start this conversation off. I would like for him to start this conversation off about his father, the academy, how we got to where they are today in this first 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the actual art of lymphasizing on the next half hour of the show. So Professor Karl wrote all degenerative diseases is reversible. All degenerative diseases is reversible. Know the process, and then reversing is an elementary realization. Curing does not acknowledge the process of disease. Curing can be a fortunate happenstance, but does not reveal the chain of causation. Curing often does not teach preventing. He says, become a lymphologist and learn the entire chain of causation. Professor West, welcome to Heart Healthy Living.
Thank you, Karen. It's wonderful to be on the show.
Yes. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, talk about the International Academy from your perspective, and I'm just going to listen and take my notes, and you get a break in about 12 minutes. Giving the mic to you, Professor West.
Yes. Well, the Academy was founded by my father, Dr. C. Samuel West. He had started off as a naturopathic doctor. He had a desire to go back to school to become a doctor so that he could teach people how to heal their own bodies. It was a very unique motive for becoming a doctor. I don't think you don't hear that, in the usual case. And in the process of going back to school and everything, he got into the biochemistry mainly. He had his pre-med in biochemistry, but at that time his best friends, they told him, look, if you go on to be a medical doctor, we're going to put you under a strict contract to treat, diagnose, and prescribe only. And they said, I think what you want to do is probably be a naturopath. And he agreed with them. He looked at that and he went on, and because they knew the desire of my father's heart was to be able to teach people how to heal their own bodies. So they just happened to have a fantastic naturopathic college in Arizona at the time, and he started going to that, and the teachers were just amazing. And I mean, I don't recall their names right off the bat, but if I were to mention them, you could probably look them up and see that they had an amazing legacy. But the point is he in the process of becoming a naturopath, during that time, he had asked for a good book on circulation. He had seen the shock research, and that revealed that the blood proteins left the bloodstream, and they could leave so fast that our bloodstream could collapse. He said, give me a good book on circulation. And so his friend across the hall, Dr. Chase, he was teaching chemistry at Westwood High School, gave him a textbook from Arthur C. Guyton. And Arthur C. Guyton had a discovery that he had put into that textbook right at the last minute, just before they published, I think it was the 5th edition of his textbook of medical physiology. He put a very significant discovery in that textbook, and actually the appendix. And it read that he talked about how he implanted capsules in the body. They were measuring the tissue pressures with needles, and at the time, they come up with zero or neutral pressure. Guyton was the first one to put implanted collapsible plastic capsules fenestrated with many small holes. It enabled the fluid in between the cells to exchange with the fluid in the capsules. He waited about 2 weeks for that to heal, and then he measured it. And it turns out that all healthy tissue in the body is held in a negative pressure condition. Literally, the lymphatic, what that revealed was that the lymph system is a vacuum, and it pulls the cells tight and close together. So there's literally nothing in between those cells. That's the ideal, perfect condition. If you're in that state throughout your entire body, you would practically be transformed. I mean, it would be the most amazing feeling to have is this nothing to prevent your bloodstream from irrigating your cells. So he knew that what he had seen was very significant, and when you just put those two discoveries together, the shock research discovery and put that vacuum state in there and how the lymphatic system functions, those things alone would open your eyes to this may be something very significant. He believed that he was starting to learn the cause of every degenerative disease known to man, and in fact, And in fact, that's what we assert today, is that it is indeed the main cause of, it's the primary cause, it's the process, let's put it that way. Now there's a whole chain of causation, but the process at the cell level is always the same. See, the things that are, like, you can talk about all the different things that cause the process, but we're going to show you the process. And when you see that process, it's a vision that you will never want to lose, because it reveals, it's going to open your mind to you're going to understand all the physiological phenomenon that you've only wondered about. All of a sudden, everything is just going to fall into place and make sense to you.
Yeah, so you're right, and it is going to fall into place. But you said it so briefly, Karl, and so easy for people. But it took your father years of research without the internet. What is this time frame that we're talking about? That your father that founded this information, founded the International Academy of Lymphology. Give me some of that detail so people can understand.
The materials that he produced took him 38 years to produce, to have everything the way we've got it, and it began to get more advanced in the way that he did a lot of body electricity, bioelectrical techniques, and things with the mind, and eventually he got things really simplified with the equation that he wrote. The equation that he wrote was a 31-step equation, and he wrote it like a physics teacher would want you to write an equation. And that wasn't good for lay people really so much, but it was a formula for life and death at the cell level, and it reveals the life process and the death process at the cell level. And so it didn't matter what the name of the disease was. There's certain processes that happen when cells stop functioning properly, and it has to do with the environment of the cell becoming occluded, so that the bloodstream loses its ability to nurture the cells. So, every cell, think about it, respiration is breathing, and every cell has to have respiration. So basically every cell in your body has to be able to breathe. And what enables that is the irrigation of oxygen from the bloodstream. It goes from the arterial side, and the water literally bathes across the cells over to the venous side. Well, as it's traveling across, it also, goes from delivering oxygen to picking up the carbon dioxide and taking that back up through the venous side, right? And so there's a sort of a electromagnetic thing going on with not only all the minerals and electrolytes, but even the oxygen gases, and the oxygen carbon dioxide is sort of an electromagnetic thing going on. It's getting exchanged. It goes from one phase to another. That one part of the bloodstream holding ample oxygen, and I could give one the detail about how at the tiniest capillaries you got your red blood cells actually folding in half. That's when they release the last of their oxygen, so then it's diffusing across. Now, if there's an occlusion somewhere, the water will travel the path of least resistance. In other words, it just flows around blockages or impeding, anything that would impede the flow. So as the flow gets impeded and an area of tissue gets more starved, it seems the more the proteins tend to stick together. And those proteins hold water, and so you increase this area where more and more fluid is circumventing the area. So they're getting more and more oxygen deprived. And so that's the state of death and disease. Now, that's the process of death and disease. And that's also...
It's the role of the lymphatic system in all of this.
Right.
Give yourself, the next 10 minutes and talk about the role of the lymphatic system and how that system is activated to assist the individual with assisting their body with staying in that negative zero
Right.
atmosphere that you're speaking of, the dry state.
Well, to an extent, the lymphatic vessels are activated through the availability of extracellular fluid that is coming into the system, because as these the space between one valve and another is believed to be a lymphangion. It stands for tiny lymphatic heart. Now, I don't know this. Well, yeah, I do. I know it through perception, but I didn't read it anywhere. But I believe that when the lymph vessel gets inflated to a certain point, that will trigger these contractions of the smooth muscle, which they found in the lymphatic. That's how the lymphatic wall actually works. So it can contract and actually propel the fluid from one valve to the next. So in a sense, it's activated just through the availability of the fluid. But here's the thing: it takes energy to disassociate those trapped plasma proteins. My father was talking about trapped plasma proteins so much as I grew up, I couldn't stand to listen to it anymore. In fact, the last 20 years of my life, I've hardly ever even wanted to mention TPP. I didn't want to say it. I didn't even want to say trapped plasma proteins. Those words have hardly ever come out of my mouth. I've gotten to a point where I have to recognize the value in addressing trapped plasma proteins and the way that energy works through freeing up those cluster proteins. I always mentioned it, but I just said energy disassociates the constituents or something like that. I tried to teach it in a really simple way. It just seemed like some reason it was, if you keep harping on something, it's like it turns people off. So I didn't want to keep harping on trapped plasma proteins unless people would know what I'm talking about. But the particulates in your bloodstream hold all the water in your bloodstream. And when they leave, they hold the water in between the cells. And they'll hold the water wherever they go because they're magnetically attracted to the water molecule. So these particulates actually enter the cell to help the cell hold water. And that's through pinocytosis. In my biology class, they totally skipped over that. They just said the cell was engulfing water, which was really a deception. Cells don't just engulf water. That's ridiculous. Why would a cell engulf water when water can permeate the membrane on its own? But the cells are engulfing these plasma proteins. Albumin is a perfect balance of amino acids. So, and then the cells can bind up the garbage. Now it's due to the lymph system. It's totally up to the lymph system. There is no other way that these particulates can be removed from the interstitial spaces. So the only way that our interstitial spaces can be maintained is with a effective lymphatic system. Now, there's a lot of people with the wrong mindset. They're thinking we got to fix the body. The body is we do have to fix the body, but they're thinking that it's the body's fault. And that's a medically brainwashed mindset. It's not the body's fault. There's a lot of things that happen to the body, and we need to understand what is happening, what's the process at the cell level so that we can start reversing it. But it takes energy to free them up, free up the trapped plasma proteins, and then it takes a few things that we do like deep breathing, rebounding, stroking, compressing tissues, and along with the energy. Those are all things that have been proven to activate the lymphatic system, and the deep breath was proven to activate the entire tree trunk, which is called the thoracic duct. So that you activate the tree trunk, you relieve the pressure off of millions of valves throughout all the numerous vessels that are even more numerous than your blood capillaries. You have 90,000 miles of blood capillaries. You got 4 times that many lymphatic vessels at least. And so there's millions of check valves. When you relieve the pressure off those valves, the fluid flows through there much easier. So you got to keep the whole system going. And the best way to do that is through deep breathing and rebounding and stroking, compressing tissues. Stroking and compressing tissues and energy is a way to work directly with the vessels
Say those again. Say those again slowly, and then
Okay.
After you say those particular things again slowly, so people can understand that, then I'm gonna take
All right.
see if the people that's been on the line longest, if they have a question or they just want to continue to hold. So say those again. How do you activate that?
All right. Deep breathing and rebounding is a good way to activate the entire lymph system as a whole. The stroke, effleurage and compressing tissues and everything is a way to work directly with specific parts of your body. So you can make the vacuum that's going on in the system more powerful in a specific area. That's the area that you're working on. Well, you can also effectuate the whole process much more by disassociating those trapped plasma proteins with energy. We have the most advanced. We teach the most advanced energy techniques as far as what we do with our hands and the energy of the body that you'll learn anywhere else in the world. In fact, that's why we combined the power of the mind and the endocrine system. The endocrine glands are power plants. They generate a tremendous amount of energy, and we teach people how to activate those and get those so they're generating that energy. And then we teach people. My father was the most advanced in directing energy. In fact, he was the one that proved that rebounding magnified the thought wave and converted mechanical energy into electrical energy. Because he had people on a mini trampoline, and all they'd have to do was put their hands on their chest and think about their hips and rebound, and all they had to do was bounce up and down. Within about 4 bounces, just thinking about their hips with their hands on their chest, mentally directing the energy into there, you could watch their hips go right into place. Now, this is something that is easily repeatable for science.
It is. Professor West, can I ask you to hold for one moment, please?
Sure.
There's somebody that's on the line that has a lot of noise in the background, and I'm asking everyone to find their mute button and mute their phone so we won't have this distraction in the background. Caller on 6117, you've been holding for a while. Do you have a comment, a conversation, or you want to continue to hold in the chat room? Caller 617. Okay, you want to continue to hold. There's a caller that's been holding on for a while, 509. That's your beginning number. Would you like to have a comment, make a statement, or you want to continue to hold? Okay. Caller on 817. You've been on the line for a moment. Would you like to make a comment, a statement, or you want to continue to hold? Okay, thank you very much. Caller 413. Would you like to make a comment, or would you like to continue to hold? Okay. There's somebody on the line and your phone is not muted, and we're hearing a lot of noise, like in the kitchen or something. We don't want to remove everybody from the chat room. Can people please check and make sure? Tomorrow we're going to take a station break, and we're going to come back and summarize what Professor West just shared with us and continue the conversation. You are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks. We're sharing a conversation with Professor Karl West. Is it time for a new approach to your health care? Are you ready to leave the dark ages of disease care management and pharmaceuticals? If your answer is yes, get ready to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal healthcare prescription plan with Dr. K. She is a certified lymphologist and Nest healthcare provider, sharing the new science of information as medicine and cellular ecology. Did you know that the field of epigenetics states that you are more than just your genes, and those genes do not control your biology? Yes, that's correct. Schedule a Skype, phone, or office visit with Dr. K and get on board the friendship train to healthcare freedom. 202-248-7749. That's 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, forselllife.com. The number 4, the words cell, CELLLIFE.com. All right. You're taking that deep, 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 deep Kundalini breath. Take that breath. Circulate it all the way through the body. You are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, broadcasting live from downtown Washington, D.C. in Anacostia. My guest joining me tonight is Professor Karl West. He is the current president of the International Academy of Lymphology. We're having a conversation about the lymphatic system, the power of the lymphatic system to assist you with keeping your body in what is known as the dry state. He termed it as the vacuum state. It's a state in which your cells can receive the oxygen, the nutrients, the minerals to allow them to function correctly. This is all over the body, become parts of organs. And if any area of that organ is not able to keep that particular area of that organ in the dry state, the vacuum state, the cells cannot receive what they need in order to continue to do their job adequately, high levels of energy and function, so you'll be able to move around this body with the power that you need. He talked about the 30-step formula that his father created that brought it down to the simpler formula so that we could all understand it. You all heard me talk about it. Oxygen plus pumps equals electricity equals power. And if you want to have a high level of power, you got to make sure you have that energy. That energy is throughout the whole body. Those pumps are your cells. Your cells cannot pump and generate that energy if it's not kept in the dry state. You're going to have some fluctuations. You're going to have some static. You're going to have some problems in that. And we look in terms of that, and they call it a symptom to a disease. This is a symptom to a cellular malfunction. It's how your body is letting you know that it's not getting what it needs so that particular area in the body can do its job correctly. Now, how can you assist yourself to make sure that your cells stay in this dry state? Because nothing external is going to do it for you unless you are part of it. It's a part of who you are. The lymphatic system is activated with me, from my understanding, through the breath of life. When you first come into the work and you breathe, that system takes a lot of energy up and it begins to start. You know, I often tell the story and share about my son when he was born, 1 pound, 5 ounces. He was born and doctor says he has a strong heart. And I was excited because the heart is powerful. I knew a lot about the heart in 1992, but not as much as I know now. But when I looked at my son, he was limped. And I was like, darn, he mighty limp. Never said a word in my life. Never knew I would become a lymphologist. The lymphatic system is important to how the body cares for itself. And so this information that we're sharing with you is powerful information to assist you. So in terms of oxygen, pumps equals electricity equals power, keeping those cells in that vacuum packed state. I like to keep the term, I use it all the time, come lymphasize with me. Dr. West, he called it rebounding. I like the way I talked to Pamela Bursack last 2 Tuesdays ago on Heart2Heart Healthy Living, and she liked to say we need to get cellular fit. I often say cellular wellness, but we're talking about same thing, cellular fitness. And how do you get fit so your cells can stay sharp and energized? That's what Professor West is sharing with us this evening. Continue your conversation, Professor West.
All right. Thank you very much. That's a marvelous summary of that. And I really think that a lot of people could be saved from unnecessary premature death and unnecessary suffering if we can get this show to as many people as we can. So I encourage everyone to please share this radio program with all your friends, and because it's vital that we learn these principles. We're not going to be able to have the faith to do the kinds of things that we need to do until we really learn how the body works. Once we learn how that body works, and that's what we are. We're blood and lymph. When you learn this vital relationship, it's going to open your eyes to the point where things that you only wondered about, it's all going to fall into place, and you're just going to be grateful. I've always been grateful.
I know I've always been grateful. Since I've had it, I've been a whole lot grateful. Yeah. It answers a lot of questions for me. And, Professor West, I make it so simplistic that people's like, when you come to me, no matter what you come with, no matter what you say the name of the disease is, I say the same thing. It's a cellular malfunction, and you can correct it once you get your lymphatic system strong so it can keep the body in the dry state. There is no fluid pill that's going to remove that fluid. That's the job of the lymphatic system. It's your job to let that system activate itself, and that is a part of breathing. You can keep that system working when you take those deep breaths. Deep breaths, keep that system moving. They're talking about rebounding. We're talking about a mini trampoline. I love the term lymphasizing because, most people get on a rebounder and they're about ready to get off of it because it's like exercising to them, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Well, you're not, as Pamela says, you're not cellular fit. I like to say, lymphatic wellness is not where it is, but you're not cellular fit because the environment is not right. And it's so simplistic that no matter what the disease is, what is edema? How do people get into the state of edema and don't realize that is what all diseases is, Professor West?
My most recent project I've been working on the last few days is an article that's going to be published with thetruthaboutcancer.com, and we're talking about removal of lymph nodes in order to, supposedly when they find a cancer cell in your lymph node, they got to remove all that, the whole system, and on top of giving you chemo and every radiation and all that, they're going to remove your lymph nodes. And so they wanted somebody who could do the job. Justice very thankful for that, to have the opportunity. It's an honor for me to be able to provide that information. But this article that's coming up is going to be extremely helpful and powerful in preventing an unnecessary, intervention, radical interventions like that. Really, ultimately, those result in chronic pain for a lifetime.
Yeah, because when you move your lymph nodes, what is the purpose of the lymph nodes? When you remove those lymph nodes, what does it do to the lymphatic system?
Well, it's your septic tank. It's part of your immune system. It's full of T cells and other other cells that are designed to destroy and phagocyze and break down the bad cells, and it's perfectly normal for them to capture cancer cells that are traveling through the system. Unless your whole body is in a state of anoxic conditions and acidity, first of all, cancer really can't just spread to another area that's healthy. If you just focus on creating the conditions that are optimal for life and also friendly to your immune system, in other words, you got plenty of oxygen in the rest of your body, it won't be able to take over the rest of your body. And just focus on eliminating the acidity and the inflammation, and get the blockages out of whatever part of the body that cancer manages to take hold. Now, cancer is subject to its environment, just like every other cell in your body. And
cancer is just a name for the condition of the area of your body when the lymphatic system is not doing its job. And they say the cancer has spread it. That simply means what? That the lymphatic system is not purifying the organs in the body. So therefore the blood is turning over what? That trapped plasma protein, that dirt is moving around in the body. Can we say that?
Yeah.
We can say that?
Yeah, you could put it that way, but I want to just make a distinction in that we need to be sure to have the most correct description of what's really happening. And so a lot of times when things go wrong, it has nothing to do with the lymphatic system not functioning properly, because the lymphatic system can function properly. It can function perfectly, but other things can go wrong that prevent which can create the trapped plasma proteins.
Oh, yeah.
And so it can be functioning perfectly, but when cells are damaged, they release these poisons, histamine attacks the capillaries dilate, out comes a massive amount of these particulates and excess fluid, and it gets stuck. They actually stick to each other. So imagine having a vacuum hose, but the marbles, and a lot of marbles on the ground, let's say half of those marbles are glued together. So the vacuum hose has a hard time pulling them out, right? So I like to use the word lymphatic effectuation, and then people are like, what's that? Is effectuation a word? I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to invent words because there isn't a word, a better word. Well, effectuation, it is a word. Might not be in the dictionary, but actuation and lymphatic effectuation, the fact is, this whole science is necessary. There's mental, nutritional, physical things that go, the laws of health, and when we break those laws, we can be doing a lot of things that, let's say, for example, stress and shock causing the capillary pores to dilate all the time. That's one dilemma. All right, how about another? Too much sugar causing everything to stick together. Ooh, that's another dilemma. See, so you got mental, nutritional, and physical. All of it's going to play a part. And it's about lymphatic effectuation. And I don't like to ever word things in a way that people can think it's the fault of the body. Because that is the medical mindset. That is the medical brainwashed mindset. And we need to get out of that. We've all been affected by it. We might not even realize it, but we've all been affected by it because, when language and explanations and everything, and we get versed, everyone gets versed in conventional explanations. That's what we tend to adopt for ourselves when we're trying to explain things. But I have broken free of that completely. I never like to word things in a way that's the fault of the body or the design of the body. And that's a huge step that we all need to be able to make, especially when we're teaching other people. And that was the biggest challenge I had.
That's true, because the body doesn't know how to die. The body doesn't know how to do anything. You're doing it for the body.
Right. And so there's
each cell has its own set of consciousness. It's all interrelated and interconnected.
Yeah. The whole thing, it's designed to work right, but it's like your car's designed to work right too, but I bet I can mess that engine up, if I just put some gunk in the fuel tank, and I can mess it up the carburetor if I put some junk in there. So, and I can stress it too hard, and various things like that. I think people need to be aware of how these particulates get trapped in between their cells, especially after a period, let's say that you've been in shock. If someone's been in shock or a lot of stress, that can be a big burden and a challenge to their lymphatic system, especially, and it can be just a huge problem for the interstitial spaces, the environment of the cell. Well, and then if they've been really sedentary for a long time, it's particularly more likely to be problematic. So I try to encourage people, just as far as the lifestyle goes, that they need to be physically active throughout the day. It's never good to sit down, really, to just be sedentary for more than a half an hour at a time. I wouldn't even do it for a half an hour. More than a half hour. You need to get up, walk around, breathe, and activate your lymphatic vessels and everything throughout the whole body every half an hour. Because the key to really having an effective lymph system is consistency and frequency of actuation. There can be nothing wrong with the lymphatic system, but if you're not using it, that's a problem, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not activating it, you're not doing the things that...
Giving it some more support. We have to because it's a slow-moving system, so with all the things we're doing to stress, as you say, shock and stress to the body that cause the capillaries to continuously allow that protein to come down into the area that causes this state not to be such vacuum packed. Yeah.
So I would like to encourage everyone to, to work on that. If you there's a lot of different ways of lymphasizing or rebounding. There's never a better way that I've seen than having a mini trampoline or a rebounder. So you need to have one of those handy course, there's a lot of, like I say, there's an unlimited variety of ways that we can activate our lymph system, but it's just a great device to have. And
one way that causes you nothing, the one way that really causes you nothing is your breath.
Yeah, the deep breathing. And I want to point out that even if all you do is stretch and yawn more often, and you're contracting and relaxing your muscles throughout the whole body, you're working hard. That's where people have lived the longest. They find that, and when they're not under a whole lot of, it also helps alleviate mental stress, but they're not under a whole lot of mental stress. And so the key is, I think the number one key is with the mind. Start with the mind.
Oh yes.
You gotta realize that when even terrible things happen, that you need to kind of put yourself, just immediately grab. You might only get one or two chances to do this because some things are so terrible, but that first thing that comes to your mind is that gives you peace of mind. Is the first thing you need to focus on, and the next thing, and it's almost impossible to prevent stress totally in your body, but if you will start lymphasizing and lymphazize regularly, especially regular, that following an event like that, you're more likely to prevent these kinds of degenerative processes.
Definitely things sticking together in the body when you're stressed like that.
Yeah. I want everywhere in the body, where those things manage to take place, they can grow. They can keep growing until you end up with a severe degenerative disease, or cancer or heart disease.
Cellular malfunctions. That's what we have. They give it those names.
Yeah. For the most part, you can tell when you have a really bad chronic inflammation, a problem with chronic inflammation. And I think that's all. Karen, I have started to theorize that inflammation can be a programmed thing for tissues. And so I have a theory about how to, when you're working on things and if you're holding on and doing compression and you're running energy and there's a lot of pain there, I think that if you continue to hold and just maintain the pressure and do the focused energy technique and visualize the energy going into that and visualize the process of it healing and all that, and if you'll do a little bit of effleurage, going from effleurage and deep breathing with that compressing and holding and focusing the energy, eventually, if you can get the pain to come out, and sometimes it takes 15 minutes with a chronic problem, but if you will at least do that, get the pain out once, and just try to keep the pain out, you can go to sleep and wake up in the morning 95% better.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted people to definitely understand about definitely being able to do that for themselves. And one of the things that I'm doing in Washington, D.C. to kick this off and to assist everyone, we're lymphasizing our way to wellness. We're going to be starting this Saturday, August the 15th. I'm inviting those listeners that are around the Washington, D.C. area and also where you are in your neighborhood. Let's start lymphasizing our way to wellness. Get a group together. The weather is wonderful. Go outside, be around the tree, get into nature, and let's lymphasize our way to wellness. People in the Washington, D.C. area can meet me at the Anacostia Smithsonian Museum Park grounds at 11 o'clock noon this Saturday. And I'm going to assist you with self-care. Is healthcare. And this is one way that you can begin to allow your body to remove some of these toxins, get your cells back into the dry state so your body can begin to heal itself. So I'm inviting you to join me. Most people know that April is Conscious Self-HealthCare Month. We're now proclaiming it as Lymphatic Wellness Month, and we're going to be promoting April as a month of wellness for all those people that have lymphoma problems and issues of whatever disease it may be. When your body is in a better state, when you learn cellular ecology, you're going to be able to assist yourself more. And that's why, in honoring my mother, the Shirley R. Hardy Senior Weirology Program, we started that this past Monday in Washington, D.C. And this is something that people can call me up and share it in your neighborhood. I'm wanting to assist the seniors with beginning to get well, because they are putting our seniors as they get older on this high blood pressure medication. Is all about circulation. We want to get them lymphasizing, getting them feeling better, and understanding cellular ecology so they won't get trapped on these pharmaceuticals. Professor West, let's take a moment and tell individuals how they can reach you, a little bit about what the International Academy offers. We have about 10 minutes, and how they can get started. They know they can come to me. They know I assist, and I have wellness workshops. But what do the International Academy offer people to get started?
Okay, please visit speedhealing.com, or it's all one word, speedhealing.com, and you can go ahead and subscribe to the free lessons if you want, and if you're just wanting to get the program and get started, just click purchase materials or order materials, and if you can do the full rate, I encourage you to do so. If not, I've got a discount I can give you. People that are financially able to contribute, please contribute the full amount. If you can't, you have a financial you're in a financial bind, and that would be a great stress to you, contact me at Karl, that's Karl, at ial.org, or just call me with the contact me from the website, and just say I'm in dire, I'm in a difficult situation financially, but I would like to get the course. I'll discount that whole course anywhere from $30 to $80, depending on your situation for you. And it's normally $380. You'll get 10 hours on audio, 12 hours on DVD, a textbook, 2 booklets and charts, and you'll get coaching from me and so forth. But please become a lymphologist today. It's going to be the greatest step that you ever made in your life. This is the kind of thing that benefits you the rest of your life, and it's not something you have to keep paying for. Once you have that knowledge, you've got it. And there's really just, even though there's an unlimited variety of ways we can apply this information, it'll teach you very much on how to figure those kinds of things out on your own, because it focuses on the process. It focuses on the discoveries and the science behind it, and the why, how it's possible, or why it's possible.
But it's empowering for you, the individual. It gives you the power to understand how it is that the body activates its own healing process. It gives you the power to release yourself from the belief and going through the names of these diseases that you have to depend on someone to find a cure, to keep making pharmaceuticals that is causing the poison in the body. It's causing your cells not to perform right. So this is an opportunity for you to help yourself by taking yourself back to school with yourself at your own pace and learn cellular ecology. And then no one can fool you. You will know exactly what you need. You will know exactly who you want to go to for assistance. You won't be persuaded by all the advanced information that somebody shared with you, making it all complicated, because it's simplistic. I love the way Dr. Samuel C. West did this course, did this program. It's basic. It's mountains and years of information. It's more than a degree of a medical doctor when you sit down and understand just a simple technique to keep your body, your cells in the dry state so they can take advantage of all the good stuff that you're putting in it. So it will not hold on to all this tsunami stuff in the body and make it difficult for you to correct your own cellular malfunctions. Not diseases, family and community. Cellular malfunctions. You want to learn cellular ecology. You have an opportunity to go to the website to get a discount only if you need that. If you can afford what is offered, then do that. But if not, just like Dr. West said, that's why I give this information for free. When you call me, talk to me, come to me, before I even pull out Nest, any energetic other devices, this is simplistic information. Do this first. Do this first. Learn how to keep your body in a dry state.
Oh, I'd like to add one more thing, and it says this is what I've written in the article that's going to come out it's going to be called Lymphatic System in Cancer Care and Prevention. And one of the things that I've contributed is quite a few paragraphs at the first, but it says, in the vacuum state, there is no inflammation, no edema, no blockages, and this condition is invariably altered due to nearly any disease. In this ideal vacuum state, there is an abundance of oxygen, so anaerobes like cancer and other infectious organisms would rapidly suffer from the process of oxidation and die off due to this simple fact. It's an immunity that's built into the ecological system. In other words, cancer does not live where oxygen levels are high. It therefore helps create cancer cells, I should say. I see where I need to improve this. Cancer cells therefore they create the blockages to the circulation. It turns out they actually kick off a lot of proteins from the external out of themselves to hold excess fluid. So they can create this anaerobic environment where the immune cells can't really do their job. The immune cells go in and it's a hostile environment to them. It actually spreads as it terraforms the inner terrain to one that is hostile to immune-related cells and one that is favorable to them. Like everything else, as I said before, cancer is subject to its environment, and so is our immune system. It is a battle over the inner terrain or environment.
The terrain. That's the area, yeah.
See, as long as they've been ignoring this, then I quote another doctor who just recently wrote, published paper, No Disease Ever, Unlocking the Power of Oxygen by Frank Schallenberger, MD, emphatically emphasizes oxygen utilization there, and he states, it is not an oxygen deficiency that causes, not as far as the bloodstream is concerned. He says your blood levels of oxygen can be normal, but you can still very much so get disease. Mm-hmm. Well, a certified lymphologist of the Academy of Lymphology will emphasize oxygen distribution. Oxygen distribution. That's where it's really at. And so that's really what's causing the diseases is the oxygen distribution problem.
All right. That's why it's the first thing in the formula, oxygen. And you have to make sure that it's distributed throughout the body. Pain reveals itself to you because of lack of oxygen.
Right. And when you respond immediately to the symptoms of your body, and you can even prod around your vital organs in your abdominal region, just prod around your body. Anywhere that you find pain along your spinal column, anywhere along you can figure out where the neuropathies are happening along your spinal column. If you find a chronically inflamed area, you'll know because it hurts. Trust me, if there's any pain there like that, if you have a significant amount of pain in your back, there's going to be chronic inflammation.
And that's what they're learning. That's the work that Jim Oshman and a whole lot of other people have done. I feel like they have honored your father. This has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, Karl, for joining me, and I'm excited to be a lymphologist, receiving my information from the International Academy of Lymphology. I'm thankful for the work that you are doing to advance that information, to keep us up to date, and also the work that your brother and the other siblings are doing to keep your father's work alive, to let everybody know that you can heal yourself and why you can heal yourself. So I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks. You have been tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living. You can reach me at ConsciousSelfCare.com. You can reach me on Facebook, Karen Davis-Foulks. You can join, or you can like our page, Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery. You can give me a call on 202-248-7749. If you're in the Washington metropolitan area, you want to join me for the senior wellness workshops. We're talking about, are you a aging baby boomer or a saging baby boomer? How well are you taking care of your body, your lymphatic system, your whole systems of your body? And we're talking about Conscious Self-HealthCare, M.O.V.E.S. Are you still working from a man-made mindset about healthcare? Are you ready to bury disease thinking? Are you ready to just let it go, embrace it, hold it tight, and know that you create cellular malfunctions and you are not meant to be here forever? So let's not get caught up in long-term caring. Let's keep our body strong until we go to sleep and decide not to wake up the next morning. Professor West, parting words. We got 1 minute to closing, probably a few seconds now. What you like to end with?
Peace and blessings. And give me, anyone that wants to can send me an email, ask me any questions you want. Get on the newsletter list. You'll be kept up to date on things that are happening. It can be one of the most.
That's it. Thank you for tuning in to Heart2Heart Healthy Living. Next Tuesday, I will send you the conversation. Thank you, callers.
Don't let them change you.